Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be building built-in L-shaped kitchen benches for some friends of mine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build the frames of both the benches. So I'm going to have to build 4 of these frames and join them together. And for the frames I'm just using 2x4s and some screws. And here's where I'm joining the front and the back of the bench frame together. And so this bench is going to have a back on it, so I'm using these 2x8s to give me the right distance I want from the wall, and also it's going to be what the back panel is going to attach to. And then I'm going to use pocket holes to attach these back slats to the frame. Alright, now I'm going to cut out a notch in all of the 2x8s, and this is going to be for the baseboards. I didn't want to have to cut the baseboards out of the client's home, so I just figured I'm going to cut these grooves in all of the boards for the backs. And just on the end pieces, I'm going to cut out where match the baseboard. And then so with all the grooves cut out, I'm going to use pocket holes to attach the back to the frame of the benches. And with the backs attached, I am using a wainscoting board cut to length, and then I'm just attaching that with some glue and some nails. And this is going to be the backrest of the bench. And this is the other half of the bench. And as you can see right here, this is where it makes an L shape. So I did an overhang on that right bench, and then when I get to the client's house, I'm going to connect them permanently and install them into the wall. And so now I'm going to attach the front face. This is a 1/4 inch plywood. I'm going to attach that with some construction adhesive and some nails. And now I'm using 1x2s to make a decorative front for the face of the bench. So this is the bottom where your feet's going to be. And so I'm doing this to both sides of the bench to match. I'm going to clean it up with a vacuum and spray, and now I'm going to use caulk on basically all the seams. And what I like to do is just lay a thin bead of caulk and then wet my finger and run across all the seams, and so it looks really nice when you paint it. And so now I'm just going to go quick sanding. I'm going to do a 220 on everything before we get to paint. But before we paint, I need to figure out these end caps. So the end caps on the side still need to be finished over, and I waited to do that last because I have to cut out the baseboard to match. So I went to the client's home I lined up the end cap to their baseboard, and I made a little jig out of a pencil and a skewer, and I traced a rough estimate of their baseboard onto the end of it. So once I cut it out, I just need to cut it out a little bigger, and that way I can just fill any holes with caulk, and it should match pretty well. And so I cut out the first one, and I'm gonna cut it out to match the second one. So now I'm using a flush trim router bit to match the 1x2 decorative 1x2 to the baseboard cutout I just made. So I'm going to do that 2 times, and it's gonna look really good once you get it in there and get it all caulked up. It's gonna look like it's part of the wall. So now we're going to attach that side. Just the same thing with brad nails and construction adhesive, and you can see on the bottom where it's cut out to match the baseboard. And here I'm attaching the 1x2 that we cut out with the router. And the rest of the decorative trim. In the front piece, I cut out basically a dado so it fits in and it covers up the 1/4 inch plywood, and then you don't see any seams. So I'm just attaching a trim piece to the top of the wainscoting. That board at the top is just a board I'm using just to get the placement right. Now I'm going to fill in all my nails holes with putty, and then line all the seams with the caulk, and then pretty much the sides are going to be ready to paint. Alright guys, so that does it for the first half of this video. I'm really happy with the way both of these have turned out so far. All I have left to do is to paint all these white, and then to build the tops up here and the seat bench up here, which the seat's going to lift up, and to go to the buyer's house and install them. So I really hope you enjoyed the video. I just split it up into 2 parts because it's just too big of a build to get into one video. So stay tuned, it should be a couple of weeks when I get this thing installed and finished. I have the finished pictures for you guys. I hope you enjoy.